Well, thank you. So I don't think I've ever received such a kind introduction. And what a great welcome. Thank you to all of you. And I was remarking earlier, it's midday on a Tuesday. So for all of you to fill up the pews here, the seats, and to be here is really a testament to LSSI, to your commitment, to the commitment of the church. And I'm really just thrilled to be among you. I think before I make some remarks about this award and LSSI and all the work that you do, I just want to say and have us all pay attention today to the fact that there are invasions going on today all across the Chicago area into communities that live in fear. There are families in hiding. There are people who've been thrown into vans and taken away this morning. And those attacks are increasing, starting today. This is Mexican Independence Day today. And the White House, it was leaked to us a couple of weeks ago, was aiming for Mexican Independence Day in Chicago to attack these communities. And my family escaped Ukraine from the pogroms when the Russians were killing Jews, and were lucky enough to escape to the United States. And this country took my family in. We had nothing and offered nothing except hard work, a desire to get ahead, a desire to be free and to live in a secure environment. And this country gave that to my family. And I feel so lucky about that. I also feel like it's our obligation, all of us. I bet almost everybody in this room is an immigrant or the child of an immigrant, grandchild, great-grandchild. This is a country of immigrants. We should honor immigrants. We should not have our military, have our agencies of the federal government arresting people because they look different, or because they speak with an accent, or because they speak another language. That is not the country that I grew up in. That is not the country that any of us grew up in. And I want to thank all of you, because I know the beliefs of the people who sit in this room. I know the beliefs of this church that we stand in contravention and in opposition to what's happening. And so I want to begin my remarks by thanking all of you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you to all of you. And I guess I should begin by saying I had the great pleasure of knowing Paul Simon, though just as a kid who was interested in politics and public policy. He was somebody willing to talk to somebody like me, and I was, 20-something years old. I got to work on Capitol Hill for his colleague, our former senior senator at the time, Alan Dixon. I actually went for an interview with Paul Simon's office and got an interview with the senator himself. And he said, "I'm so sorry, we can't hire you for the position." And I said, "Why not?" And he said, "Because I need to hire a minority for the position." And I said, "But I'm a Ukrainian Jew." That didn't work. But he was very kind to me, and I ended up working for his colleague, and always admiring everything about Paul Simon. And so to win an award named for him, for his courage in public service, and what a perfect word to describe him, It just is, I don't know, it gives me great pleasure today to be among you, and it's very humbling. He was a good and decent person. He was a good and decent public servant, just like Jim Edgar, who we lost just a few days ago. Somebody who was willing to reach across the aisle, Jim Edgar, Paul Simon, willing to be kind to anyone. And so I hope that as a governor, as a public servant, that I can live up to that, the greatness that Paul Simon has established for public service, and that Jim Edgar clearly lived by as well. So congratulations to my fellow honoree, to Lindsay LaPointe. I mean, truly an excellent partner in the Illinois General Assembly. When you become governor, you hope that you can find partnership with the leaders in the General Assembly, and I really have, and especially Lindsay joined, I think, shortly after I became governor, and so I got to know her early on in her service as a state representative, and I am so pleased, and you all have awarded somebody who is a true leader, something that I know that she'll be hanging in her office and she'll admire and she'll point to other people, because the things that she's accomplished really are quite remarkable in just a few short years. So thank you for your service, Lindsay. But you all know that it's the leadership, it's the staff, it's the volunteers of Lutheran Social Services of Illinois that deserve the honors today, really, and every day. You have an unparalleled impact on all of our communities. 50,000 people served each year, more than that, from youth services to mental health supports to care for our seniors. You really are life-saving caregivers for people and a powerful force for our state. Justice is what you stand for. Justice is what you live by. Justice is what you deliver for people all across our state. And I mean justice by virtue of health care, mental health care, the services that you provide, lifting people up. That is justice. I truly am endlessly grateful and deeply proud to be partnered with you in the work that you do. When I became governor, we had just come off a period of really sustained disinvestment. Mark referred to it, many of you remember. And we've been trying to rebuild our social services and human services infrastructure from my first day in office. It was one of my very highest priorities. Mark referred to something that sounds boring to everybody, balancing the budget. But our Senate president, who is here with us today, knows that it's one of the hardest things to do, especially in the state of Illinois. And we have worked together closely to make that happen. But it's important to do. Why? Because when you balance the budget and you prioritize human services, it allows you, by balancing the budget, to actually pay for the things that matter in state government. And sometimes you can even run a surplus, which we have done, that helps us fund the things, grow things that really matter to all of us in government. I believe in caring for the most vulnerable. I know that's what you believe. That's why you're here. That's why you're part of Lutheran Social Services and all the organizations affiliated with it. That has to be our foundational mission, I think, as human beings, to serve one another. And for too many years, crucial programs had fallen victim to budget cuts, to political football. We can't let that happen. When I took office, the urgency of our mission was immediately apparent, and the burden for organizations like LSSI, Mark talked about the days payable, as we say, being only 18 days now. It was 230 days. You can't, I mean, most organizations, LSSI is large and was able to get through that, but most organizations are not that big. And most organizations don't have a reserve to rely upon. And so if you don't get paid 230 days, if you don't get paid, you have to close your doors. And so many organizations closed their doors. So in the years since, the state has truly made the critical investments in restoring our partnership with you. attempting and always, not always getting there, but now always getting there, paying on time to make sure that we support the programs that you all deliver for all of us. We launched a statewide program to end homelessness in Illinois and now have a chief homelessness officer. What an important direction for the state of Illinois. We've expanded our nutrition assistance programs in the state. We're going to talk about that momentarily and what the challenges are from the federal government, but the state has prioritized it. And I guess I want to say to all of you that we've made a lot of progress. But unfortunately, the forces that have been working against us lately have now escalated. Harsh cuts to vital programs like SNAP, like Medicaid, an affordability crisis that is not just affecting individuals, but now affecting states, making it more difficult for working families to simply survive and for states to make the assistance that states should make. Federal deployments that I talked about, now striking fear into our immigrant communities. We're facing a national campaign. This is my political opinion, and my apologies to anybody who may disagree with me, but it's a national campaign that is based on profound cruelty, intolerance, and ignorance. In this moment, protecting our work is more important than ever before. We will not be able to replace the billions of dollars that the MAGA majority in Congress has taken away. But we have a shared obligation to one another to stand together, to defend what we have built so that we can restore sanity and justice when the moment comes. And it will come. It will come. We must do our best to turn fear and chaos into hope and prosperity. But that's only possible if we choose not to avert our eyes or sacrifice our values in this moment or abandon our responsibilities. In Illinois, we have seen this problem before. It's maybe worse now because it's coming from the behemoth of the federal government. But it's good people in this state, the heroes of LSSI, heroes that are in this very room, who have powered us through our darkest moments. And it was Senator Paul Simon who implored us years ago to, and I quote, seize this time and opportunity to build a better tomorrow so that generations to come will look back on us and say, these were people of uncommon compassion and vision and courage. So thank you all once again for your continued service, your commitment to our most at-risk communities, for the work that you do on the ground to, well, make the connections and develop the trust that is so important, the network of support that you have built for people across the state of Illinois. I'm really thankful to you every single day, and I pledge not to fail you in being a good partner to you and to infuse passion for the most vulnerable, my passion with yours. The award that you bestowed upon me will help power me through the work ahead. It is an emotional moment in our country. More than recognition today, I want to treat this as a reminder of our shared responsibility, our shared passion and compassion, and treaty to lead with moral clarity, to stand up for our most vulnerable, to keep fighting with all that we've got in this challenging moment. Thank you. Thank you for your uncommon compassion and your vision and your courage.